Coming up this week, off-screen.
Dwayne Johnson goes on a rampage.
Sam Worthington becomes a titan.
The circus looks grim when I fall.
Marlina gets to murdering in 4 acts.
A marriage gets frosty in custody.
And it's a bad day for Russia in A Gentle Creature.
All those to come and more off-screen.
This is Off-Screen. Off-Screen. With the latest film news and reviews, this is Off-Screen, the on-screen radio show.
Ooh, welcome to Off-Screen. I'm Van Connor.
And I am Kase Allen.
Welcome back, Mr. Allen. We've had a
Welcome back, Mr. Connor.
Easter break. You know, it's been relaxing.
It's been nice. I had a lot of chocolates. I watched a lot of films.
I too partook in the chocolatey arts. Yeah.
Good.
Yeah.
That's now was the time.
That sounds quite deviant when you say it's the chocolatey arts.
The chocolatey arts.
Yes, yeah.
It's like the worst lesson at Hogwarts, that, isn't it?
It really is.
Master of chocolatey arts.
That's the one where the teacher gets killed off every year and they have to replace them.
Yeah, Kenneth Branagh, and then
it totally is.
That's what happens, yeah.
Totally is. So, loads of stuff to come this week. We've got 6 movies. 4 of them are in foreign languages, funnily enough.
Oh, nice.
Only 2 out of 6 films
I
are in
happen
English.
to speak one language.
I too, indeed, speak a language.
And it's up to you to figure out which one.
Is it English? We'll find out. Right, so, I mean, loads of stuff to come. Loads of foreign language films. Actually, some really, really interesting foreign language films as well. And some interesting English language films as well. So both of our English language ones are actually fairly decent and interesting this week. And one of those does involve Dwayne Johnson. So,
who's an interesting man? And my first piece of news is about interesting man Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson.
the most interesting man in the Iron Paradise.
3 times running.
Exactly.
I think that's his current title.
What has DJ done this week then?
Well, you know all that hullabaloo was going on around the fate of the Furious.
Oh, was this Candy Asses? Is this when he called
Candy
someone
Asses.
a candy ass on Instagram or something?
Yeah, he didn't name names, but everyone knew that it was Vin Diesel.
Pretty much everyone knew, yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
So now he's addressed it kind of head on for the first time.
I read this interview.
Yeah.
And, all right, it's not up there with Quincy Jones's interview, because, you know, I think we all know that's the greatest interview
Of
ever.
all time, it'll never be topped until Q does another interview.
Well, exactly. I mean, that is, for now, that's hip-hop's Frost Nixon.
Yeah. Alexander Desplat is his brother.
Yeah, I mean, that's the takeaway.
The Beatles can't play instruments, and Marlon Brando
and Richard Pryor were very friendly. So, yes, but obviously this is not quite to that level. Dwayne Johnson did a pretty interesting interview. Was it Rolling Stone or something like that?
Yes, it was. He's on the cover of this month's, or just the current issue of Rolling Stone.
Yeah. It was an interesting piece. He did address that controversy, I did see. Now, if I'm reading this right, did it not come down to a difference in working standards, a difference in professions, something like that?
Essentially, yeah. He said that they had a chat in his trailer, which sounds ominous, and I wish that I was like a fly on the wall in that trailer. I want to know. I just want to know what happened.
Thing is, right, I can guarantee you just know Dwayne Johnson never got aggressive, raised his voice, or even looked angry. I bet he literally sat there the whole time and said, let me explain it to you how I see it, brother, what I think is. You just know it was a gentleman's chat, but with a lot of uses of the word brother.
Yeah.
And the other party will be
the occasional sir as well, maybe.
I would totally, because you know he's got to be the politest man in the world.
I totally respect you, brother. But listen to me, sir. Yeah.
I think in that same interview, is Brad Payton, who's done Rampage with, who he did San Andreas with, I think said in the same interview, he's quoted as saying, the closest thing I've had to an incident involving him, you know, and any kind of behaviour is when we screwed up our schedule and he wasn't going to be able to make his flight home to his family on time. And instead of getting angry, he simply called us all round and said, "I'm very disappointed. Is there anything we can all do together to fix it?" Yeah. Like, absolutely sounds like what I imagine Dwayne Johnson is like
just
to
quite
work with.
Amicable, and just seems like he's a man who wants to find the solution to a problem. Yeah,
Exactly.
And that solution might be not being in Fast 9, which would upset me greatly.
He has said, hasn't he?
Yeah.
It might not happen.
Well, he might not be in it. It's definitely going forward because ain't nothing stopping the family.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But he himself may not return. He apparently wants to put all of his effort, he's putting all of his attention at the moment onto the Dwayne Johnson, Jason Statham spin-off movie of the Fast and Furious.
The Hobbs and Shaw. I'm sure let's just call it Hobbs and Shaw now.
I think it seemed to be implied that actually was the title. I'm like, cool.
I think that's it. I'm fine. What else are you going to call it?
Why not?
Yeah. I would hope that they do that and then he comes back for the last fast film.
I would think something like that.
Yeah.
So let's plug our podcast edition for the week then. iTunes, Deezer, Acast, whatever your podcast platform preference is, go on there, get the extended version of the show where we just cram in a bit more news, more reviews, things like that after the end credits. And so you've heard it on radio and you think, why didn't they cover that obscure German drama that I was really looking forward to?
Yeah, I've been waiting all day for that.
It's on the podcast edition. We haven't stiffed you. It's there. We have included it. It's fine.
I want to know all about
Bavarian tea house cinema, yeah.
I know so little about Germany, I couldn't even think of it.
I don't know why I went with Germany and Bavaria as the first default foreign language
Das Fledermaus.
Something like that. But so they're all on the podcast edition, and there's some Nicolas Cage goofery turned in.
And Case might continue to offend all of Germany.
Yeah, well, that's. I don't know what our figures are actually like in Germany. I could find out. Anyway, let's talk about someone who I'm sure is big in Germany, as he's big in most countries, it seems, for some ungodly reason. Sam Worthington.
It's James Cameron's fault.
How did he come out of nowhere to become a star overnight? Then he's sort of gone away, but he's never quite gone all the way away. So Sam Worthington is just always around.
Well, we always have this actor. We have your Sam Worthingtons. We have your Joel Kinnemans. We have your
Armie Hammers.
Yeah, Armie Hammer is not there.
He's crossing over now, but he was that guy for a long time.
Have you seen the trailer? We'll talk about this later. Have you seen the trailer for a film called Sorry to Bother You?
Yes, I have,
man.
and I cannot wait. Is that not who's the guy from Get Out?
Lakeith Stanfield
and
Tessa Thompson. But who's the other one in that line? Jai Courtney.
Oh, I can't wait.
Yeah,
I absolutely.
How
can't
are these
wait.
people getting roles?
Well, not Tessa Thompson. Obviously, we love Tessa Thompson. But,
she's incredible.
Yeah, but Jai Courtney. Yeah, they're always around, and if you've got like a big blockbuster sequel, and you've got a big role in it, and you can't be bothered to cast it properly, you get that person.
You get one of those.
You get like Jai Courtney to be John McClane's son. That's absolutely how it goes.
That's what happened for everyone that wants to block it out of their minds.
Just remember that happened, and yeah.
So that actually happened. Matthew Broderick killed a guy.
Oh God, yeah, that's a horrible story. And yes, I absolutely remember it. So let's come back to Sam Worthington though. He's in a film,
and that film is called
The Titan.
Brought it back.
Okay, we brought it back. We've reined it all in. Okay, so Sam Worthington stars in The Titan, which, imagine if you will, the Sci-Fi Channel decided they wanted to remake The Fly, but they wanted to make it with aliens, and they wanted an art house director and a reasonably sensible cast to bring it to life. Okay, that is The Titan. No joke, that's actually how I would describe it. So, the general plot is you've got a husband and wife, Sam Worthington and Taylor Schilling from Orange is the New Black. They and their child relocate to a covert NATO base in the middle of... It's never actually described as to where it is. They're going to live on this base in relative secrecy. He is going to be experimented on by by NATO scientists in order that he might be the first of a group of effectively terraformed humans who will go to the planet Titan, which is one of Saturn's moons, and set up a colony where the human race can move to and relocate before the Earth kills us all. And I'll tell you what, here's a clip of, Tom Wilkinson actually explaining that plot for us.
Our resources have been depleted. In 10 years, half the world's population will have starved to death. Half the planet will be uninhabitable. But there is one place that gives us hope. The largest moon of Saturn. What if Titan could become our home? You will become enhanced humans. Most of you will fail. Some people will break during the training.
You're talking forced evolution.
I'm talking survival of the species.
Tom Wilkinson there as the head of the science program. So the Fly comparison is one you can't avoid coming back to in this. It very much is like that, only imagine if the Gina Davis character was more present and more involved in the changes that were going on. That's what you've got here with Taylor Schilling's character.
Yeah, Taylor Schilling.
And she actually herself, within the confines of the script, she herself is actually a medical doctor as well. So she is able to basically keep involved in the plot. It's not just a wife character they sort of scoop aside to occasionally bring out and have a crying scene. She is actively involved in the "what are you doing to my husband" plot. And obviously the whole thing is, they all know that this whole change is undergone for a specific reason, that obviously he's going to evolve, etc. If you've seen the marketing, I feel very bad for you. I had seen the trailer, and it does ruin what should be the most shocking stage of the movie.
See, I've not seen the trailer. I've seen the poster. for it. And I mean, it spoiled it because I now know that Sam Worthington's in it.
That's understandable.
Yeah, why would you try to sell me a Sam Worthington film that's got Sam Worthington in it?
Funnily enough, this does come from a German director, by the way. This comes from Leonard Ruff, whose work I'm not familiar with. He did Nocebo a couple of years ago, which I have heard of, but I've not seen. Like I say, though, he has directed it with this wonderfully artistic, very much I want this to be taken as serious art kind of an eye. But he's done that in spite of the fact that the film can never escape feeling like a Sci-Fi Channel reboot of The Fly done with aliens instead of flies. The cast are in on this, and it works. They lean so hard against the silliness that they basically prop it up quite well. No one ever breaks. There's no sense of irony to it or anything like that, and it's quite well balanced that it doesn't have that. Sam Worthington genuinely is good on a level I have never seen him be good before. The only other thing I've enjoyed him in anywhere near close to this much was Man on a Ledge, like 6 years ago.
I quite enjoyed it.
I like that.
It was just kind of pulpy and a bit fun.
Yeah. But at the same time, though, you could feasibly replace him with any number of actors, and that still would have worked.
Could replace him with Jai Courtney. Could replace him with Joel Kinnaman.
Armie Hammer. Yeah, totally.
And it would have been much better.
It would have been, probably, because it would be Call Me By Your Ledge. Anyway,
By Your Ledge.
Anyway, I do think this is really good. It's got a pretty intriguing supporting cast. Taylor Schilling, I only really know from Orange is the New Black. Not really familiar with her otherwise.
Oh, she was in that Adam Scott film with Jason Schwartzman.
The Overnight.
Overnight. Yeah. She's really good in that.
She was good in that. Yes, that was a long time ago. It was about 4 years ago we did that.
It was a good few years ago. Yeah.
Tom Wilkinson, I like very much as a sort of not quite as sympathetic, but a very academic antagonist.
I like to think that it's the same Tom Wilkinson scientist that's in Eternal Sunshine.
And it could entirely be.
Yeah, shared universe.
We have also got Agnes Dean in there and Natalie Emmanuel as well as
Miss
Andy. Natalie, yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
As Sam Worthington's sort of co-trainee, as it were, classmate, colleague, peer. I don't know.
I guess, yeah.
Searching for words.
Associate. Yeah.
I did really enjoy it. I think it sells its concept really well. I know it's going to Netflix in other countries. I don't know if it's going here. We just have the official release date.
I've not heard.
It's just got an official release date of this week, so it could be a limited theatrical and then a Netflix. I recommend it. I think it's really good. I think if you're looking for something not sparklingly original, but impressively put together in your drama, sci-fi, Black Mirror type category, definitely check it out. If I were going to pigeonhole it as anything, I'd say it feels quite close to a mid-90s Outer Limits episode.
I'd probably watch that if I had a spare 2 hours or whatever.
But absolutely worth checking out. I really enjoyed it.
With the latest film news and reviews. This is Offscreen.
And we're back, Mr. Allen. So, do you fancy going to the circus?
As long as I'm not watching Greatest Showman, then yes.
That got an honest trailer this last week, didn't it?
Yeah, I watched it yesterday. It's really good. It pretty much sums up how I feel. I like the film. I'd watch it again. It's not a good film.
And this is where P.T. Barnum first got the idea to enslave elephants.
Yeah, that's right. P.T. Barnum enslaved elephants.
Right, so let's talk about Even When I Fall, which is a new documentary. It comes from Kate McClarnon. This is the story of Nepal's first circus.
I thought it was going to be like a Dick Grayson origin story.
No, sadly not.
Batman Forever.
I feel like we'll get that in the Nightwing movie, you know.
Oh, 100%,
out. We get flashbacks of it. No, this is actually the other end of the seriousness spectrum. This is the story of Nepal's first circus, which was set up by survivors of child trafficking, who it turns out historically have something of a connection to circus. They have often been sold into circuses. And what we get to see through the course of this documentary is how the survivors of this ordeal go about establishing their own, because they've all got circus training. Obviously, they've been liberated, they've been sort of freed from, and the idea is they have this skill set, why not use it? And make it stand for something more positive, more affirming. And good God, this will put you through the emotional ringer. Like, you've never been sadder to see a circus in your life, but at the same time, overjoyed that they've pulled it off. It's a real juxtaposition of a feeling to have, in the face of something that's traditionally associated with, good times in childhood and things like that. It was really insightful. Most of it's subtitled, and
which language is it in? Sorry again.
Off the top of my head, I couldn't actually tell you. Nepali. According to language spoken, Nepali, yes. Which I'd never really heard spoken aloud, because obviously when you watch this stuff in Hollywood films, you tend to be focusing on like Brad Pitt, for instance, talking to the Nepalese people in subtitles and getting over the fact that he sounds ridiculous. It's doing it in his accent. So I'd never really heard Nepalese before. this really, really moved me, to be honest. I came away, I didn't know anything of the subject. I was absorbed by it. I was taken in the stories of the individual characters as they go through, they go through their individual tales. What were absolutely jaw-dropping at times, and there's stuff in there that no human being should ever have to hear about, let alone go through. I can't imagine. And I came away from it lump in throat, more than a little moved, thinking that was the bleakest time I've ever had at the circus. But by God, what a fantastically made doc! Very tidy 90 minutes as well. I think it's 93. Once for credits and everything, it's 90 minute purposes. It is worth checking out. Absolutely, I was just really drawn in.
Sounds
by it.
very interesting.
Not a subject. If it's one of those things where someone says to you, "Do you want to hear the story of Nepal's first circus?"
Do you know what this is?
Yeah,
Yeah.
This is that conversation,
isn't it? This is what was that film we saw a couple of weeks ago? This is Islands in Wales.
This is Isles of the Whales. No one expects that to be
very good documentary. Not subject matter that you would ever want to just
not
look
the
into.
easiest sell. No, but if you get the chance to see Even When I Fall, though, just absolutely check this out. This is really, really intriguing. So over to you for a quick piece of film news, if you will. So what have you got for me?
Right. Do you know Nick Cage?
Nick Cage?
Yeah.
I'm vaguely familiar with Sir Nick of Cage, yes.
Yeah, with his...
Of the Venice Beach Cages.
The Venice Beach Cages, yeah. The fantastical Hungarian castle cages.
Yes, indeed. What has Sir Nicholas of Cage done to us now?
He was given an interview somewhere a couple of weeks ago, and obviously he was going to be Superman at one point.
Yes,
and,
I remember. Yeah,
and he's also he is going to be Superman, but in the animated
Teen
form.
Titans, isn't it?
Teen Titans Go to the Movies, which is a great title.
It's a good movie.
Yeah,
good movie concept. I like the idea.
Absolutely. But he's now gone on record and said he thinks he would be a great Joker.
Yeah, I heard that.
Yeah, and I mean, yes, he would.
I mean, God, yeah. I mean, he'd have been a great Willy Wonka as well, but
would have been a great John Rambo. Would have been.
Yeah, I mean, it would have been a great Kaiser Soze. Would have been a fantastic Hannibal Lecter.
Would have been a great Hannibal Lecter.
Iron Man, Doctor Strange, what's the other thing?
Yeah.
You could do basically
Miss Daisy, driving Miss Daisy.
Yeah. I mean, as the lead in 12 Years a Slave, I think Nicolas Cage would have been absolutely unbeatable.
12 Years a Cage.
12 Years a Cage. Oh my God, this sells itself.
I am sure that just if we put in all these films into Google, someone has already photoshopped.
Of course they have.
80% of them.
They've CGI'd. They've photoshopped Nicolas Cage's face onto everyone, including myself.
Wait a minute, that's not Jessica Tandy. I would love it. Obviously, it's never going to happen. It's just one of those silly interviews. But apparently, the Joaquin Phoenix one that might be happening. I don't know. He has been a little bit more open to conversations about it because he's been quite coy.
He has a bit.
Playing the Joker. He said that he has met Todd Phillips, who was directing the standalone Joker film, which has nothing to do with the Jared Leto Joker, which has nothing to do with anything else in the DCEU, which has nothing to do with anything I'm interested in.
That sounds like, to be fair, that I'm willing to forgive Warner Brothers a lot of DCEU stuff based entirely on the strength of the Meg trailer. When you've put that out, you get a free pass from me for 4 years. So. Yeah.
Well, that's why we need Statham as Cockney Martian Manhunter.
Oh, of course, yeah, absolutely.
That's what
we're not getting Willem Dafoe as Martian Manhunter, which is what it should have been, but...
yeah, because he's in Aquaman as, I don't know what he's... He's some kind of Atlantan politician, or...
I don't know.
He's Aquaman's mate.
Who knows anymore? He's Aquaman's mate. Aquabloke.
Aquamate, yeah.
Aquamate. That works.
Aquamate.
Yeah. On which note, should we head to the top 5 for this week? Sorry.
Let's do it.
Number 5.
I love dogs.
You love dogs?
Well, I love cats, but I quite like dogs. But I love dogs.
I love dogs too. Very funny, very witty, very sharp. Loved the animation.
Very Wes Anderson.
Very Wes Anderson. I like the rugged, shaggy-looking animation, and I think the voice cast are absolutely terrific. Edward Norton, Jeff Goldblum, Bill Murray, Bryan Cranston. Love them all.
Yeah, I was thinking about it a couple of days ago. I think it might be his funniest film.
I think it's his broadest film. I think by
certainly
a long mile.
Broadest.
I think
absolutely.
Broadest.
Yeah,
but I do think his work is getting progressively broader now. I think something like Grand Budapest Hotel was a lot more accessible than, for instance, Moonrise Kingdom.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
But Moonrise Kingdom, for me, I think that's also the start of the more broader, more accessible kind of. Another his both films are being kind of inaccessible, but they've definitely been a little bit.
Do you think it's hipsterdom is less
hipster?
I think it's what it is. It's
I feel like
hipsterism is getting a bit more
his
mainstream.
hipsterism is becoming more mainstream, and that's not necessarily a bad thing.
No, by all means, we've all got to grow up sometime.
I mean,
so.
there was a point where no one listened to Kings of Leon, and an album 4 hit, and the headline in Glastonbury.
And we all know that's how you measure history. By the Kings of Leon.
Usually. When did Cable Follow get a haircut? Oh, that was 2007.
Exactly. Yeah. So has anyone been in touch with us on this particular release this week?
Have they? Yeah, probably. Let's have a look. Let's see.
Let's pull those up and see if anyone's been in touch.
Let's go to Twitter. Kase is going to Twitter. Kase is opening his phone. This is my song about going to Twitter. I'm on Twitter. There we go. Cool.
Okay, there we go.
So... you can feel free to edit that out.
It's not getting edited.
Alison G. Muse says, OMG, I just cried my way through I Love Dogs, and then a dog emoji. It's so good. Good in all capital letters. And they're all good dogs. Yellow heart emoji, dog paw emojis.
Number 4.
Love, Simon.
Now, you've seen this, I haven't. What was it like, sir?
So, this is a really, really good film. This is great.
Is it the great LGBT teen rom-com that we want it to be?
Yeah, I would say so. Yeah,
fantastic.
And I don't know if that puts too much pressure on it for people that haven't seen it and then are going to see it expecting that. But if you go in expecting something that's really heartwarming and a fantastic cast, and you're expecting to actually like Jennifer Garner in a film for once, because I don't think I've ever had that, and I did. And Josh Duhamel, who is obviously the poor man's Timothy Oliphant.
Oh yes, of course he is.
He's good.
He's good. Well, of course he's good. He's like 10% of Timothy Oliphant, so he's at least 10% good.
Absolutely, yeah. But there's a few people that really steal the show. There is a drama teacher in this, and I'm not sure of the actress's name, but she absolutely steals the show with this.
I look forward to it.
She's amazing. And then Nick Robinson. He's fantastic in this.
Excellent.
Yeah, really good. So
he's been threatening for a while because he did that Everything about a year ago, didn't he?
Yeah, and he was in Jurassic World, and he was. Lest we forget, he's in the show where Melissa and Joey. Is he not?
I don't know. I've actually honestly never seen an episode of Melissa and Joey. So has anyone tweeted us about Love? I imagine many people have very glowing things to say about Love, Simon, because it seems to be going down the storm.
Yes, at Olivia Ellish.
Olivia Ellish, okay.
Yeah. Love, Simon. And then / Simon versus the Hopi Samians agenda just makes me so happy. I get this giddy feeling in my stomach, and I can't stop smiling. It's just it makes me feel, this is a crazy long... Can we even have this many characters on Twitter? It's just like...
Is it an essay? Is it one of those tweets and essay?
There's the word like a lot. It's just it makes me feel every emotion I've ever felt, and just, I don't know, I'm stupid.
I can't.
That's a great tweet.
I really hope your child is a little girl.
Me too.
Yeah, I really hope, because it sounds like you would deal really well with a teenage daughter.
You've 100% just let the cat out of the bag.
I have. I didn't even realise. I'm sorry. Do you want me to edit that out?
No, I
don't. That's fine. Okay.
Let's keep scaring. I'm having a kid.
Yeah, there you go. Kase is going to be Kase Senior. Barry Allen will be born, and
he will be.
Or Barrietta Allen. Barrietta Allen.
Let's move on. I'm having a kid.
Let's move on. He's having a kid. That's it.
Number 3.
Nostalgia Fest 3000,
which you could probably call it if we're really honest. I mean, I think you've seen Ready Player One by now.
I have.
And what did you think?
I think I like it.
You think you like it?
Yeah.
What's giving you trepidation?
Right. Okay. I like 100 things in Ready Player One,
but there are 600 things in the film.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing. Yeah, I like 100 different separate things, but I think they're all things that I liked previously. Prior to seeing the film.
I had to see it twice because I felt overwhelmed the first time. I thought I need to be able to see it without being constantly, look at that, look this one.
It's Mike from Akira. Oh, look, it's Batman on a cliff. Look,
you can give yourself whiplash if you sit through this in the wrong way, because you constantly get distracted over different parts of a massive.
Oh, look, it's Fletcher from Whiplash. Yeah, just
exactly. And so I saw it that second time. I really loved it. I've all the time in the world for it. I've not read the book, so I don't have that sort of hang up about it.
I think maybe it gets better after the first viewing. Then
entirely possible. I think once you have a lot of the sort of big beat surprises sort of taken away from you, you have to focus on it as a story. You get to enjoy it more as a sort of Child in the Chocolate Factory. Parody.
I think that's the thing. I don't think I enjoyed the story because my eyes were just focusing on everything else.
Understandable.
I mean, what just happens? It did for me anyway.
I can't remember putting the tweets together for this one, so I don't know if it was one of the positive ones, if it was one of the negative ones, because frankly, I've heard enough of either side of it.
So it seems to be quite divisive, but it's also made a butt ton of money.
Exactly. Yeah.
And if anything else, I'm happy because Spielberg's not had an out-and-out bona fide hit for a few
while,
films now.
yeah.
So it's good that we've at least got that back.
Exactly, yeah. So, I mean, our tweet then. Is it good? Is it good? Is it bad?
Josh Fletcher says, Ready Player One was so much fun.
Excellent.
Suspense.
Okay, that was suspense, yeah.
Number 2.
A Quiet Place.
Which I saw and loved. And
Said that so loudly.
I know I did it intentionally.
Yeah.
And you saw it and enjoyed it as well.
I saw it last night. I saw it in. I mean, I wish it was a quieter screen, but it didn't detract from how much I loved the film.
I saw this 2:30 in the afternoon, public screening with the quietest audience you've ever seen in your life. And
God bless him.
I mean, they had those paper bags of popcorn and they were afraid to munch their popcorn because they knew everyone could hear it. It was fantastic. I thought the film was tremendous. I don't think it's a sparkingly original concept as the film. I've seen it done before. But the gimmick of making it largely a silent film, largely a wordless dialogue-free affair and relying on ASL, sign language, things like that, I thought the way it was pulled off was absolutely terrific. It was really well done. John Krasinski's got an eye for how he's put this together.
Yeah, who thought John Krasinski had this in it?
Who thought John Krasinski could churn out an M. Night Shyamalan at his prime kind of a film?
Yeah,
and because that's what this plays. This does play like pre-Village M. Night Shyamalan making a Stephen King movie.
it does. It's kind of like it did remind me of Signs when I was watching it, and I think a lot of comparisons about it. And I'm one of those people. I really like Signs.
Oh, I do. I really like Signs.
Yeah,
as well,
I've got a lot of time for it, but I've not seen John Krasinski's other two films. So one is called The Hollers, which is like a family drama.
No, I've not seen that one.
And I saw someone write about it the other day, and it's on Netflix in America, and they said it's what you think of when you think of a Netflix film.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and I don't know what the other one is,
Double
but maybe he's one of these people that when it comes to genre, he just knows what he's doing.
Well, it worked out for Jordan Peele, didn't it?
Well, a lot of comparisons to Get Out as well.
Yeah, I mean, I think the performances here are terrific as well. I think that, they are a real life couple. I think they were great. Is it? I forget the young actress's name. It's Millicent something.
It's Millicent because
she is a young deaf actress, and she was in Wonderstruck the week before.
Yes, and then she's incredible.
She's really strong in this.
I can't wait to see other things. And then the young lad, he's in Jacob Tremblay. What is it?
Yeah, I know what you mean.
Wonder.
Yeah, he's in Wonder, and he's also in Rampage.
Oh, is he?
Not Rampage, am I thinking of Rampage? Oh, no, sorry, not Rampage, The Titan. Sorry, he's in The Titan. It was one of the 2 English language films this week. He's in The Titan as well.
No way.
So he is getting around.
Good week for that kid.
Good week for that kid, indeed. So, is it a good week for whoever's tweeted us on this one?
Bloody hope so, otherwise I'm going to go fight him.
What have they sent our way?
Okay, so, at the Jeff Chronicles.
Excellent.
Maybe my favourite Twitter handle
that's
ever.
Good.
That's great. I'd kill aliens to have John Krasinski and Emily Blunt as my parents. A Quiet Place, and then an emoji of like the mute symbol.
Excellent.
Genius. Is officially one of the best of 2018. I would have to agree.
I think it's going to turn up on a lot of end of the year lists.
Yeah. Do you know what sucks though?
Go on.
And say it quietly. Produced by Michael Bay.
Number 1.
# not my Peter.
Yeah, indeed. No, the annoying thing is it seems to be a lot of people's Peter, though. I'm not a fan of this adaptation of Peter Rabbit. I think the concept of it has just been abandoned in favour of a generic, slapdash family film that plays closer to something like Alvin and the Chipmunks at its worst than anything else it could possibly resemble, but certainly nothing close to its source material. The twee quintessential Britishness seems to have been lost in favour of something that plays very generically on a transatlantic level. The human characters are literally the best part about it, which kind of defeats the object of a movie about Peter Rabbit. And I came away from it all feeling unfulfilled, unentertained, generally bored. So what has someone tweeted us?
Let's see. Let's find out. It's not good. You see, I was so bored just even talking about it.
You're like, I'm out.
I'll be honest, I was on Instagram just then.
That's fine. That's
terrible.
fine.
That's not a slight on you, but it's a slight on Peter Rabbit.
That's fair. I accept that.
Yeah. So, what's his face has said?
Is it actually at what's his face?
If that handle doesn't exist, I'm literally having that right now.
I hope it does.
No, at Gears.
At Gears.
I like
cool.
that.
I like that.
Obviously a fan of cars.
Strong.
At Gears says, I honestly thought that # Peter Rabbit was going to be some tweet and sweet movie, but it's actually hilarious, clever, and suitable for all ages. Brilliant. Well, Gears is clearly an idiot.
With the latest film news and reviews, this is Offscreen, the on-screen radio show.
And we're back, Mr. Allen. So we've got three foreign language films to get through this week. I thought we've not got clips for any of them for obvious reasons, so let's get through them in one block, get it nice and tidy.
Rapid fire.
Rapid fire. Let's start with Marlina the Murderer in 4 acts.
That is a strong title.
It's a strong title. It's actually quite a well-stylized movie as well. This comes to us from Indonesian director Muli Saya, whose work, again, I'm not overly familiar with, although having gone through various trailers and things, does seem to be a sort of feminist angle to her body of work. This plays like what Tarantino wishes his revenge flicks actually were. As in to say, this is a stylized, feminist Indonesian Western. Yeah.
Don't have many of those.
No, you do not.
No.
Do you? No. So it's unique in concept. It's also unique in execution. So this stars Marsha Timothy as Marlina. When the film opens, her husband is murdered. A wanderer enters her home and says, "I'm going to rob you of all your money and possessions. 6 of my friends are going to turn up. You're going to cook for us. We're going to, nudge, nudge, assault you, and then we'll be on our way." And that's it.
Nice.
She's told this, and she, out of courtesy and respect, actually does prepare them dinner. She then exacts a rampage of revenge for the entirety of their stay, that then results in her trying to turn herself in, only to find out it isn't quite that simple. So it's part revenge flick, part road movie, part kind of culminating in a sort of chamber piece drama. It's really cool. Like this
sounds ace, man.
It is. It's really gripping from the onset, and it has this sort of aggressive but cool, but not quite playing it for nudge, nudge, and winks, winks quality that you always think that a Tarantino movie is trying for but failing to get. This is that movie. This is what those movies think they're actually reaching for. The performance by Marsha Timothy, I think, is absolutely outstanding. The entire thing is in Indonesian. It's in subtitles. I think it's a really, really riveting revenge drama. If you get the chance to see it, absolutely do. That was Marlina the Murderer in 4 acts. From one end of the spectrum to the other, we come to A Gentle Creature, which is written and directed by Sergei Loznitsa. And this is a Russian drama about an unnamed woman. She's referred to, for all intents and purposes, as the Gentle Creature, who is left to fend for herself when her husband is incarcerated for some undisclosed crimes. I forget the actual details. She's in some remote gulag-type prison, and she is granted a rare and fleeting opportunity to go and visit him and deliver a parcel to him. She then discovers along the way of this trip... There's something about road movies this week, by the way. I don't know if you've noticed this.
There's something of a theme.
Something of a theme. Yeah. She discovers on her way to this prison nothing is quite as simple as it appears to be. She turns up at the prison. There's some excuse that she can't get in that day. She has to bide her time, and she'll keep trying to go back, only to be thwarted by various different means along the way. It is about as nihilistic a film as you have ever seen. It is just bleak with a capital B and underline the rest. It is really grim as a tale. Great performance by Vasilina Makosova as the Gentle Creature of the title, say, unnamed lead. The only problem is that outside of her character, outside of the performance that she's afforded the opportunity to convey, what you've got is a script that doesn't really want to sketch anything else out for any of the other characters beyond very basic archetypes. So a policeman is literally a policeman, a baker is literally a baker. There is no personality to this world. There's no feeling of a lived-in world. It very much feels like a staged execution. And the problem is it's over-directed to the extent that it becomes very quickly infuriating. Lots of unnecessarily lingering, static, establishing shots long after a character has entered a building, for instance. Like, it'll be 10 seconds for a character to walk into a building, they'll be shot at the building, and the shot will continue for another 50 seconds after they've entered the building, and you'll just hear dialogue over the top of it, and the feeling throughout it all is this is someone desperately trying to be taken seriously and trying to go as artistic as possible, and really, it just feels a bit naff and annoying. So, yeah. I mean, great performance from Vasilina Makosova. Other than that, this really isn't to anyone's exacting high standards. Custody, which is a French divorce drama, all to do with, would you guess it, custody. Right, this is a film of not so much two halves, but one set of 2/3 and another third. probably the best way to sum this up.
That's maths I can't even begin to do.
Yeah, they split this into thirds, and the first two are one film, and the final one's a completely different film. I'll be really honest, that film that they end with...
Did you just like fall asleep and you woke up and like Rampage was on?
It feels like that sometimes. It's like if you fall asleep in the middle of the first time you see Pickle Rick, which I have seen happen. How did that happen? So they say this is about a marriage that ends with a bitter custody battle, father versus mother, kids caught in the middle, very somber, very soulful, very grim. And very much from sort of the child's perspective, I would say, not really focusing on either adult, not really taking sides, generally focusing on the children. I think the son seems to be around the 10, 12 mark. The daughter is sort of high school, going to college kind of an age. So we were coming at it from different sort of avenues. It stars Leia Drucker and Dennis Menashe. Dennis Menashe, I thought I recognised from somewhere, and I couldn't quite place him. And he's an actor who's been in things like Assassin's Creed and The Programme and Inglourious Bastards. So he's a bit player, a French language bit player in quite large scale productions. So yes, you do recognise him, but you have no idea where from because you won't specifically pick his films.
It's just that guy.
He's just that guy. It's written and directed by Xavier Legrand. I will say it is well staged. It is insightfully written. I do think its grand turn, as it were, takes it into territory that I know is meant to add a certain other element to the film, to the story, and to the emotion of it all, but it doesn't quite play as successfully as I think it might have done on paper. I can see the intent, and when you step away from the film, you think, yeah, okay, I can see why you thought that was a very good idea. And I probably, were I the guy writing this, I probably would have done exactly the same thing because it's the most interesting thing you could have done. But it doesn't quite gel, it doesn't quite work, and it does end the film on something of a sour note compared to the standard of the rest of it. And also takes what's arguably its strongest performance into a little bit of an unnecessarily sillier direction. Not silly, it's probably the wrong word. Unnecessarily far-fetched connection, and that to me was a shame because the rest of the film I thought was actually pretty solid.
With the latest film news and reviews, this is Offscreen, the on-screen radio show.
And we're back, Mr. Allen. So it's time to talk about that one movie that's coming out that we've been looking forward to, I think, for a little while.
That video game movie.
That video game movie, and we're not talking about Tomb Raider for a change. So isn't it funny that we get Tomb Raider, which is the best video game adaptation ever, and then about a fortnight...
Which isn't saying
not
great
really,
deal.
Yeah, it's not a high bar, if we're honest. But then, a fortnight later, the same studio decides we're going to put out another video game adaptation, and this is going to actually be the best video game movie ever made, you know, with the previous record holder also being our film moving to the number 2 spot.
They've done all right.
They've done all right. Fair play, Warner Brothers.
Yeah.
Fair play.
I think they did that mainly by getting The Rock.
That works, yeah. So enter Rampage, which is based on the 80s arcade game of the same name. Doesn't so much follow the same formula as the game, in which you fought a giant gorilla, a giant wolf, and a giant alligator in, like, a cityscape. Rather, it leads to that as its third act setup. And we kind of get the origin story of it. And you would think that sounds really boring, except this stars The Rock. It's produced by The Rock. It's actively, creatively involved with The Rock. So in that way that San Andreas very much wore the personality of Dwayne Johnson all over itself.
God, that film was good.
Well, brace yourself, because this is very much its sister movie. And even comes from the same director.
It's directed by the same guy, Brad Payton.
Yeah, who I always get confused with Peyton Reed. So
different director, different studio.
Different director, different studio. Although you can kind of see between their films, actually, there's kind of a
bit of a
parallel, isn't there? Yeah. So the basic gist is Dwayne Johnson, who is a graduate of that weird military school, that military wing that only exists in movies, in which they train special forces soldiers as zoologists and animal handlers at the same time. You know, of which there's only Chris Pratt and Dwayne Johnson in the class.
I think they went to the same uni.
Yeah,
exactly. Same college.
Yeah, it's a whole West Point subdivision thing. Dwayne Johnson is from this school. He works at the San Diego Zoo. He is the animal handler, and he's best friends with a gorilla named George.
Because of course it's called George.
Because of course
What is Dwayne Johnson's name in Rampage?
Davis Ikoye.
Say it again.
Davis Okoye.
He always has the best names.
He does, doesn't he?
Yeah.
So Davis Okoye, and I believe his cohort in this one is Dr. Kate Calloway, I think her name is.
So that's
Kate Caldwell,
yeah.
sorry, played by Naomi Harris, who is the previous designer for a biotech firm of a virus that will trigger genetic editing that will imbue any animal species that it comes into contact with certain genetic new abilities, mainly size increases, improved aggression, healing, strength, speed, stuff like that. And the pair of them go up against an evil corporation, Everdyne or something like, or Engadine, something like that.
Engadine sounds like something like you inject like into your limbs to like get rid of arthritis or
which
something.
is run by an evil brother-sister duo played by Malin Ackerman and Jake Lacey. Remember him?
Right. Of course I do.
Of course they do.
Yeah.
Who are basically trying to clean up the mess left by their secret project Rampage. And this project sees George come into contact with a crashed artifact from a space lab, not making this up. It starts to infect him, starts to increase his size, and before you know it, Dwayne Johnson is trying to pursue an escaped, enraged George across the United States on his way to a beacon at Enadine, whatever hell's beacon in the heart of Chicago, along with a giant alligator and a giant wolf. Here's a clip of Dwayne Johnson talking about why he loves his monkey.
It's weird. You like hang out with animals more than people.
Yeah, well, animals get me. I rescued George. He was 2 years old. George never would have survived on his own.
He definitely trusts you.
He's not just a friend. He's family. Don't move a muscle.
Are you crazy? No! Don't move!
Okay. Very funny. You and I laughing at your joke. New guy, he no laugh. He cry. You can get up now.
And check your diaper, come on.
So, you know the tone of this. It's very similar in one sense to San Andreas.
Yeah.
And like, The Rock could be playing the same character. It wouldn't make a lick of difference because, like San Andreas...
I like to think that he is.
Yeah.
Where is Jeffrey Dean Morgan in this?
Right, so Jeffrey Dean Morgan is neither the villain of the piece, who seems to be... you've got Malin Ackerman and Jake Lacey as the evil corporate types. You've got a Donald Sutherland-esque government general who's ordering everything to be bombed, who's played by... what's his name?
Not Donald
Played by
Sutherland.
Demetrius Gross, who I don't recognise from any... I recognise from somewhere I don't quite know where.
Good name, though.
There's a little cameo in there for Joe Manganiello, one for Marley Shelton, one for PJ Byrne, who you always remember from cable comedies. It's Matt Gerald from Daredevil. He's got a little cameo in there as well. There's loads of little roles. And then you've got Jeffrey Dean Morgan in the middle of it all, who starts off as this sort of government man in black.
From the trailer, you think that he's going to be like the
primary
bad guy.
villain,
Or,
yeah. No, he starts off, and by about the halfway point, when they decide to reenact the plane sequence and the mummy, they sort of utilise him as an ally from that point. But the whole thing seems to be, he's playing Negan. He's playing his Walking Dead character.
Does it take as long to say every sentence as Negan does?
Yes, he does. But he also does it with this newfound cowboy style. So he's a government man in black. He's wearing the MIB suit. He's got a nickel-plated pistol with pearl ivory handles in a gun holster, like cowboy style, at his front, that his jacket is draped sort of around with a Texan belt buckle. And he says everything in that way that only Jeffrey Dean Morgan does. Every line is delivered with just the right level of sex in the voice.
I look a little bit like a Texan version of Javier Bardem.
He really does.
Don't know if it's from Texas
And you know
or
what?
not.
I'll tell you what, he's fantastic in this. He's so much fun. He owns this movie. He steals a movie out from under Dwayne Johnson and a giant ape.
And they're two quite equally big things.
Yeah, I mean, big meets bigger as the
I
tagline
love
says.
that tagline. That tagline is genius.
Have you noticed a lot of these taglines are referring meta-wise to Dwayne Johnson now?
Well, of course, yeah.
Like Central Intelligence with Little Heart, Big Johnson.
Big Johnson,
things like that.
Also, one of my favourite taglines.
Yeah, good line. But I like that Dwayne Johnson's becoming this kind of meta figure. This film, as I say, doesn't challenge any preconceptions of Dwayne Johnson, the movie star. It seems to be like a victory lap for Dwayne Johnson, the movie star, because obviously it has so much of his personality running through its veins. And Brad Payton, I mean, as he kind of proved with San Andreas, knows how to handle that, and he knows how to handle that, and even sort of bigger scale set pieces at the same time.
Yeah, I think so. I just read somewhere that Brad Payton would want to direct a movie for Marvel. I wonder who he would direct. I wonder what film that could be. Yeah, I think he'd be really solid. He's kind of one of those directors, but he's like a upper echelon version, like Louis Leterrier. Or
Yeah, I see what you mean. Yeah, he's kind of the AAA equivalent, isn't he now?
Yeah, just really solid.
But yeah, I mean, I like the performances. Dwayne Johnson's just doing Dwayne Johnson. Naomi Harris, surprising amount to do in this. Actually, she's kind of got a pretty interestingly full character. Very well rounded. There's a lot of an intriguing backstory behind her. There's more to the character than meets the eye. It doesn't feel like a disappointing reveal whenever they give you anything new to do with her. I liked her very much. The only thing I would say that really counts as a fault is I think the Malin Ackerman, Jake Lacey villains they're very cartoonish, and they come at times close to that sort of direct-to-DVD Inspector Gadget sequel level of kind of caricature.
But I guess for something like this, the main draw are the three monsters, or I guess two monsters and Big Friendly George.
It is for the most part about Dwayne Johnson and the ape. It is their story, and it's even though George is on the hyper-aggression scale, it's never really particularly painted that he's a villain of sorts. It's always paid as, okay, yes, he is still a hero, he's just off on one, but we'll get him back.
It's kind of like the Hulk in Age of Ultron, I would imagine.
Yeah.
You know,
we'll reel him in. You know, that's the character's there to reel him in. He's fine. Yeah. But yeah, I get exactly your point, Hulk.
Yeah, Hulk in Ultron.
Yeah. But no, I did enjoy it. I think it does play like San Andreas meets Godzilla. But to be fair, would that description in any way put you off seeing it?
Not at all. And then you've got added Johnson.
Yeah, added Johnson, and even some Morgan thrown in for good measure. And yeah, please keep giving Jeffrey Dean Morgan these roles, because as long as he's going to keep doing the Negan thing, I'm happy.
Yeah. Sorry, on The Rock's on his page, it does say Hobbs and Shaw, like as a title.
It actually does say it. He specifically names it as Hobbs and Shaw.
I guess that's what it's going to be called. I'm fine with that.
Yeah, me too. I would absolutely see that movie. Hobbs and Shaw is not the worst title. Two Hobbs, Two Shaw for the sequel. I mean, please.
That's going to happen, yeah.
Please make that happen. But
Call Me By Your Hobbs. That's when we get Armie Hammer in.
Oh, yes. Yeah. Dwayne Me By Your Johnson.
Dwayne Me By Your Johnson, yeah.
Good Lord.
How does one Dwayne something?
I don't know, but I'm sure...
I can use Dwayne as a verb.
I'm sure Rock would tell us. But yeah, I really enjoyed it. I had a lot of fun with it. Very fluid, very coherent action, big set pieces where you never really lose track of what's going on. It's quite well staged. Again, in that sort of San Andreas-like way.
Yep. Is it the film of the week?
I would say it is most definitely film of the week. I don't want to belittle The Titan, though. I think that's absolutely worth seeing. And I'm saying that about Sam Worthington movie. I absolutely know that.
Who are you?
But I know I am going to cry myself to sleep at night tonight, mate. Don't worry.
Yeah. So next week, we'll be reviewing a film starring Miles Teller, to which Van will give a glowing review because we're in opposite land.
You've had me actually look then to see if there is a Miles Teller movie next week.
I don't plan ahead. I don't know what I'm doing tomorrow, let alone next week.
Next week, we've got Funny Cow. British stand-up comedy movie. We've got the Guernsey Literary and Potato Peel Pie Society.
Oh yeah, that title is incredible.
It is, isn't it? The GLPPS.
Lily James, is it?
It is, yeah. And is it Sam Clayton? I want to say
yes.
It's always Sam Clayton in these movies. We've also got Everyday. We've got Let the Sun Shine In. We've got Never Steady, Never Still. And there's this little film. It's a musical, and it stars a certain Mr. Travolta, and it is coming out next week.
And what is that?
For about the fourth time in British cinemas, and that is Grease. Grease is being reissued on cinema screens next week.
Yes, or to give it its Greek alternative title.
Please tell me, go on.
Vaseline.
You're kidding me.
I'm sure I've told you this before.
You have never.
I'm sure that it's in Greece. I'm sure it's in Greece. But you know we have like alternative film titles for the translation. It's known as Vaseline.
On that bombshell, this has been a Candy Snub for On Screen. I have been Van Connor.
And I have been slathered in Vaseline for the whole hour.
We'll be back.
Just show me the way to get out of here, and I'll be on my way.
You've been listening to Offscreen. For more news and reviews, visit onscreenfilm.com.
Okay, cut. That's a wrap.
Okay, slight bit of an edit. So Grease in the country of Argentina,
Yeah.
not in Greece. In Argentina, Greece is known as Vaseline.
That is amazing.
Another good one I just found, Army of Darkness.
Yeah.
Yeah, in Japan, Captain Supermarket.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, man. This is a great one. In France, Step Up, with Channing Tatum.
Yeah.
Is known as Sexy Dance.
That's amazing.
I've seen this one before. In the Philippines, Never Been Kissed. What do you think the alternative title for Never Been Kissed is in the
Virgin.
Philippines? No, close. Is Because She's Ugly.
Okay. That is astounding.
It's like answered what wasn't even a question.
I've got a list of them up myself.
Great.
Can I throw one at you?
Do it.
Right, so you tell me if you know what this one is. Superpower Dare Die Team. This is the Chinese translation.
Superpower
Dare Die Team. This is how you translate the Chinese title of which film?
Is it Mission Impossible?
No.
You can see my logic.
I know, I can.
What is it?
I promise you, it's not that logical. It's for Ghostbusters, 2016's Ghostbusters.
I think I've heard of that one before.
Right.
Okay. What's this one I really like. Right, in Israel,
Yeah.
Reign of Falafel.
Yeah, Reign of Fire?
Reign of Falafel.
Reign of Falafel. Good God, I don't know. What the hell is Reign of Falafel?
I love this because it is essentially the title just with a different type of food, clouded with a chance of meatballs.
Oh my God!
Because it's in Israel.
Right, okay, I've got one for you.
Okay,
I've got
go
one for you. Right, this is just fun. We'll just back and forth
Yeah.
this. Okay.
There's no one listening right now.
Oh no, it's just us.
Yeah.
Right, Chinese translation: 6 naked pigs.
6 naked pigs.
6 naked pigs, and there is a logic to the title.
Is it Full Monty?
It is, in fact,
yes.
the full Monty. Well done, sir.
Yeah, and I mean, you'll get this one straight away, but I think this is great. In Denmark,
Yeah.
The Boy Who Drowned in Chocolate Sauce.
Is it Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory?
Yeah.
That's amazing. Can I also give you one from Denmark?
Do it, yeah.
Right. It's very
Yes,
obvious.
Denmark.
It's very obvious what series this is. It's the question is which installment of this series, right? Die Hard, Mega Hard.
That's the Stormy Daniels one, isn't it?
Clearly, yeah, clearly. Which Die Hard movie do you reckon it is? Go on.
I'm going to say Die Hard 3.
It is, in fact, Die Hard
Yeah.
with a Vengeance. Die Hard 3, yes.
Do you know what? We were quoting Die Hard with Vengeance in the office today.
Really?
Yeah. Because someone said Jesus, and then someone said, no, it's Hey Zeus.
Not Hey, Zeus.
My name is Zeus.
I think I've got one that's going to be. It's your turn, but I think I've got one that you're going to love next. Go on.
We got no film news. This is it.
Well,
For
we
20
can talk some film stuff, but this is so fun.
Is it my turn, or do you want
It's your turn. You go for it.
Let's do this because it's related to someone that we love.
Okay.
So in Thailand, super speeding, cleaning evil accounts.
Oh my God.
If you try to decode that, and
The Transporter.
no, super speeding, cleaning evil accounts. You know it, and then you think of the plot of the film. Do you want to know what it is?
No, go on. What is it?
Drive Angry.
Oh my God! Yes,
Yeah,
yes.
yeah,
The accountant is the yes, of course.
Yeah.
Okay. Chinese translation.
Okay.
Right. His powerful device makes him famous.
I know this.
Go on.
I'm sure I know this.
Go on. It's hilarious when you hear it. Go on.
And I know it because I've seen it before. And I watched the film last week. Is it Boogie Nights?
It is Boogie Nights. Yes, it is.
Good old Dirt Diggler.
Okay. Right. I've got one I want to end on, but I'll let you end on one first as well.
Alright, let me think of one.
Go on. You need a real juicy one to sort of to send us off on your side.
A juicy one.
Don't tell me there is one that relates to juice.
Oh god, I've got a great one. This is
Go on.
the one. Okay, it doesn't say what country it's from, but
Okay.
the title is He's a Ghost.
Is it Ghost?
No,
Is it Casper?
no, it's The Sixth Sense.
Oh my God. Oh my God. Okay. That's wow. Okay. That's bonkers.
That's a spoiler.
That really is.
little bit.
My favourite one. This is translated from the Japanese title. It is "I'm drunk and you're a prostitute."
Is it Pretty Woman?
No. I'm drunk and you're a prostitute.
don't know.
Weirdly, this actually is the plot of the movie. So,
I'm drunk and you're a prostitute.
Yeah. You're going to kick yourself.
I'm sure. Well, what is it?
It is Leaving Las Vegas, the film for which Nicolas Cage won Best Actor. I'm drunk and you're a prostitute apparently is the Japanese title of Leaving Las Vegas.
I wish that was the proper US title and feel like announced out of the Oscars.
I mean, there was a couple of good ones on there. I mean, Naked Gun, apparently in Israel, is called The Gun Died Laughing.
The Gun Died Laughing. That's a good one. Junior. I don't know what country, but Junior is Son of Devil.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Japan has The Whole of Malkovich for being John Malkovich.
John Malkovich.
Yeah. And the Chinese title for As Good As It Gets is Mr. Cat Poop.
Yes, I've seen that.
God knows why, because if anything, wouldn't he be dog poop?
No, I've got an explanation for that. It says here, Jack's character name, which is Melvin. Apparently, Melvin sounds a lot like the Chinese word for cat poop.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
That-
and
that's
I
weirdly
found that
explained.
amazing that they've got a word specifically for cat poop, and
That is.
not just poop or like animal poop.
I'm going to give it up though. My favourite ever. This comes from Sweden.
Go on.
Their
Of course it does.
Their title for Swingers, which is "Hey, where are the babies?" Which, when you consider what the poster for Swingers is,
What is it? It's a different poster.
that's the poster for
right.
Swingers. If you said that was for a movie called "Hey, Where Are the
Where Are the
Babies?" a movie that features a smiling Vince Vaughn holding up a martini and features the line "Cocktails first, questions later," that paints a very, very bleak picture.
Like, that's-
Hey, where are the babies?
That is scarier than him and Psycho.
It kind of is. It's scarier than him in True Detective, and that's really saying something.
Yeah. There's so many more. Maybe we'll do this in another.
I think we should
another episode.
resurrect
This is fun.
But we got to see the trailer this week for The Meg with
Yes.
Jason Statham.
Oh, I wish it was just called Meg.
I know. It's just three letters. It's not even a name.
Not even a name. What does that mean?
But yeah, that trailer looks amazing. I think we can both agree. What else we got to talk about?
It seems to have come out of the blue for.
The shark movie came out of the blue, did it?
The deep blue sea. That wasn't even a pun. It came out out of the blue for a lot of people. It seems people didn't know that Jeff
sort of gone away,
was working on a giant shark film.
Well, I mean, we've known for a couple of years because
We follow his work intently.
yeah, we are big supporters of Jason and his cinematic contributions.
Yeah,
so
and all his Argonauts.
yes, and or his Argonauts and his Instagram, which seems to be a lot of black and white pictures of him on a beach.
Yeah, a lot of
posing,
stay from torso.
Yeah, a lot of
First pics.
Yes,
pictures.
definitely, yeah.
That's a thing now, isn't it?
Here's a weird thing. When I saw The Titan, I did notice there's a very small role in there for Diego Boneta. Remember the main guy from Rock of Ages?
Yes.
He's got a new job.
The guy that's the equal size of Tom Cruise.
About that, yeah. He's got a new gig.
Yes, he do.
And he's going to start in whatever the hell this new Terminator movie is. This Terminator 3.3 version 2.
The one that's going to be a direct sequel to
Terminator 2.
T2. Yeah.
So we call this Terminator 3.1.
I guess. Tim Miller will think of a good title for
I'm
it,
sure he probably will. Probably
It will
something
be
along those
approved by James Cameron. It'll come out. James Cameron will say that it's
The greatest.
It's the greatest. It's just a real amazing continuation of the saga until people decide they don't like it. Then he'll distance himself from it because that's what happens.
Absolutely. A film we talked about a while ago, and I think we were both quite excited about it, the collaboration between Spike Lee and Jordan Peele.
Oh yeah, what was this called again?
Black Klansman.
Black Klansman.
But there's an extra K. It's one word, and there's an extra K between the end of Black and Klansman. How clever's that?
See what we did there.
Yeah. This has gotten a release date. It is going to be out in August now.
That's fast.
That has come around pretty quickly. I'm very excited about that. Apparently, it's not been announced yet. It might premiere at Cannes this month. So, I mean, I'm anticipating really big things from that.
Yeah. It's not a Netflix film, is it?
No. So I think it will actually be well received at Cannes.
Yeah.
What else we got? TJ Miller. Let's bring this up.
Should we talk about that now?
Yeah, let's just get that out of the way. So please, by all means, fill us in. What did TJ Miller do now?
So TJ Miller has been arrested. I don't know if he's out on bail or anything, but the reason why he
He was. I think he had to pay a quite significant bail.
Oh, really?
He was out very quickly, yeah.
Well, he's facing some significant jail time if this turns out to be actually true. He was arrested because he called in a bomb threat
On a train?
On a train in New York.
Which is a pretty stupid thing to do, but okay.
He could be facing up to 5 years in jail.
There's been a lot of talk about TJ Miller in recent weeks because
he was under like some like harassments.
There was that as well.
Like accusations.
Yeah. Well, he had that as part of Me Too. At sort of about 3 months into Me Too, stories started to come out about TJ Miller, and I think in the context of the kind of personality that was being sort of shone light on during that whole thing, it didn't come as particularly shocking in a strange way. But what, especially after how he'd seemingly gone off the rails the last year anyway, but recently with Silicon Valley having come back, there's been a lot of interviews and things with the cast and producers, and his name has come up a lot, because obviously this is the first season without him.
Yes.
And a lot of the stories now seem to be pointing towards, yes, he has actually gone off the rails. It wasn't entirely his decision that he left the show. And
seems to have been pushed a little bit.
Yeah, there's evidently been some self-destructive behaviour and some gentle nudging on their part. So yeah, I kind of think it's entirely possible he did get messed up and then do this. I would believe it if he did it under the influence. If you told me that, I absolutely believe that. But
I would believe it as well. But
and it's a shame because I do think actually he is a very talented comedian.
He is a little bit, but I don't know. He's very, very great in it, and he doesn't really. I don't know if he knows how to like pick appropriate places to say things. I mean, he's very much like the Justin Lee Collins of like US cable shows.
Very much, yes. Yeah. I think he found his sweet spot, but then he went too far over the line, and he didn't stop in the sweet spot long enough tonally. And
was it a premiere for the Emoji Movie?
And the one we parachuted in.
Parachuted in.
Yeah. You think, yes, that's the kind of thing that works with your sort of shtick. That's about as far out as you should really go.
But then he like stayed in the suit the whole day and just.
Yes, exactly. Apparently, Batgirl's not dead as a project at Warner Brothers.
I've heard that. So it was being written by Joss Whedon, and then the internet, whatever's going on with the DCEU or whatever they're being called. Is it DCEU or is it?
It is DCEU, yeah. Because DCAU is the animated universe, the Bruce Timm one, and that's actually where DC should focus and thrive.
Focus on. Yeah.
But
obviously Joss left, and now we've got a new writer for that film. So apparently that film is going to happen, or they're at least going to work on it for a bit, and they're going to stop.
Well, I mean, the news does get marginally worse when you look at who is actually writing it, and the writer of that movie is going to be Christina Hodson.
So what has she done?
Well, this is where you might start to worry, because not only has she been tasked with writing this, she is also apparently helping to develop Birds of Prey as a movie.
So Birds of Prey was the Catwoman, the all-female one. Poison Ivy.
Oh, no, that's Gotham City Sirens. Birds of Prey is, for instance, Huntress, Oracle. They're making both. Gotham City Sirens is happening, but that's David Ayer. I know. Oh, I wish there was a way we could convey your look of utter deflation verbally, because it's priceless.
But aren't they just going to be the same film?
Pretty much.
Why don't you just combine them, or have one and then whatever the one was going to be have it as the sequel?
Yeah. No, we're getting a Birds of Prey movie, so Huntress, Oracle, usual stuff. So anyway, Christina Hodson, who is doing that, is responsible for writing the 2017 Katherine Heigl thriller Unforgettable.
That's what she was.
Yep. Yeah. And
I watched Knocked Up the other day.
Did you?
Yeah, I was like, Katherine Heigl was.
Yeah, she was good in this.
She was good in a film once. Yeah.
She still had a human soul, I think, around that point.
Yeah, so, and now she's crazy.
And apparently going to lead Suits, which depresses.
Yeah, because that's what happens after one of the cast members leaves to become a member of the royal family.
Well, they're getting rid of her boyfriend character in the show as well. So who was actually the lead character?
They're getting rid of Suit.
They get rid of Suit.
Not Suit.
They get rid of Suit. Yeah, Suit 1 and Suit 2. Yeah. So it's not Suits anymore.
It's just going to be Suit.
There's going to be Suit.
Suit singular.
It's Suit and Heigl. The Adventures of Suit and Heigl. That's what Suits becomes.
like the Adventures of Lois and Clark.
Yeah. The Adventures of Suit and Heigl. Harvey Suit. That's his name.
I don't want that.
Anyway, she also wrote Bumblebee, the upcoming Transformers spin-off. So
I'm quietly hopeful about that.
We'll see.
Because I'm not a Transformers fan. I've never particularly. I'm not one of these that was into like the 1980s cartoon version. I never had the toys.
What's really funny, if you watch when you watch Rampage, you will come away from it and think, actually, if you made a Transformers movie with that exact sensibility,
and that tone,
it would play quite well as a sort of for fans of the 80s stuff, like the childhood fans.
Well,
like
it's been directed by Travis Knight, who
Kubo. Kubo.
Yeah, he directs Kubo, but he's the architect of Laika, isn't he? And like this is
why? Why is he doing it?
There's got to be a reason, hasn't there? And like the cast is really good. John Cena's in it, and Haley Steinfeld. Pamela Adlon is in it.
Yeah, that's just strange. I can't wait. I mean, I love Pamela Adlon.
Yeah, but like, is this like the Transformers thing of like? They do bring in some great actors, and then
let's get Frances McDormand and John Malkovich to be in our Transformers movie.
Let's get a robot to piss all over John Turturro.
I was going to say the only person who's not had their career ruined at this point not had that black mark on their career at this point by their Transformers movie is John Goodman. Then realised, wait a minute, no, he is in 2 of them.
Is he just 2 he's in? Or?
He's in 2. He's in 1 and then killed off in the following one.
But then he's also he's a Transformer. So
he's a Transformer.
Yeah, he's not the requisite human character, and yeah.
So Zoe Saldana this week became she became the woman I want to divorce someday. She did.
Yeah. What an accolade.
She just became the greatest woman in the world this last week when, during press rounds, presumably for Avengers Infinity War.
Yeah, they've just started, really. Just started, yeah.
When doing quite a nice, luxuriant, high-end spread for one, I think it might have been Marie Claire, Vogue, something like that, she casually brought in that the academic film world that loves to heap praise on Oscar-winning movies are basically snobs and elitists because of the way they look down on superhero films. Then went as far as to say, whenever we do all the charity work we do, and we see the kids' faces light up, suck on that.
Yes, Zoe.
Yes. To which she says, you don't know what these films mean to those kids, so, you know what, in all respects, shut your mouth.
She's a really good voice for that discussion, bro.
She is.
Like, I don't like Avatar, and I don't think you're not a massive fan of Avatar.
I'm not a massive Avatar fan, no.
But just looking at her...
Fine. Avatar's fine.
It's fine. It's just fine. But her performance...
It's great, isn't it?
It's great. And... yeah, she really just she embodies that character. And what she does with Gamora as well, but she completely transforms her whole body. And not just because of CGI, obviously.
I have a piece of film news that I want to ask. Not film news specifically, but it does relate to a film. I want to ask you about it. And I've deliberately not texted you or messaged you about it.
Okay.
Because I want to see your face when I ask it. Right. What do you make of the news that ABC are going to gender flip High Fidelity as a TV show?
I think there's going to be a lot less Cosby sweaters. That's what I think.
Good answer. Good answer.
Yeah, I was going to text you as well, but then
did you think I'm going to wait and ask him?
I was too angry.
It's just why? Why? I mean, the thing of High Fidelity is that it is a male story.
Yeah, it's a
male.
I had this conversation the other day with my wife. Yeah,
there are enough equivalent female stories in the world that belong to other titles. Yeah. Taking High Fidelity and doing it seems odd.
Why don't you do like a Disney show version of like, I don't know, Empire Records or something like that?
Yeah, arguably yes, very similar thing. Yeah, Empire Records, and that's got fan base.
Absolutely, it does. Yeah, and I think they're turning that into a musical or like a stage.
You're
musical.
Kidding me, really?
I'm sure I heard that recently.
Oh man, I'll be first in line. Rex Manning Day.
Yeah, exactly. But no, not at all.
No, I don't agree with it at all. And also,
I'm like, what are the bloody music choices going to be? There's going to be no mention of like Beta Band or like Velvet Underground,
Belle and Sebastian.
Or Belle and Sebastian. There'll be none of that.
It's the new film. It's the new song by Belle and Sebastian.
Yeah. Have you got that Stevie Wonder song? I just called to say I love you.
Do we look? Was it? Do we look like? Do we look like? Go to the mall.
Yeah. What's your problem?
There's no way she likes that song.
Yeah. Oh, is she in a coma?
I love that.
We could just reenact that whole film.
We could. My dream in life has always been to do a one-man show stage adaptation of High Fidelity.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I'm too vain to really commit myself to it.
We're about to be called Kathleen Turner Overdrive.
You've always loved. The entire time I've known you, you've loved High Fidelity.
Yeah, I'll never stop loving High Fidelity.
Film that is just never going to see the light of day. Let's talk about the man who killed Don Quixote.
Did you watch the trailer for it?
I have. And first of all, I mean, I just wanted to call people straight away and just celebrate.
It's happening.
Yeah.
The world is ending.
I've seen footage from The Man Who Killed Don Quixote by Terry Gilliam. Yeah. This has finally happened. Stick a fork in me. I'm done.
Yeah.
Apparently, the guy who wanted to fund it initially, but then didn't.
Was this the guy that he met in a pub or something?
I think something like that, who offered to fund it, but then didn't.
Do you remember
he's now claiming he owns it, isn't he?
Oh, is it? I know there's some kind of roadblock that's stopping it from release, even though it's now been made. There's a trailer. Yeah.
Well, this is apparently it is to do with
Come on,
someone.
Nev. We just need Netflix. I mean, Netflix should just buy it.
Well, it's Amazon have it, don't they?
Oh, do they?
Yeah, Amazon have the rights on, I think, Gilliam's End. But right, this is the idea. So, in 2016, Terry Gilliam and producer Paolo Branco.
That's the guy. Yeah.
Right, they reached an agreement in which Branco would fund the film, right? And Terry Gilliam would, as such, have complete creative freedom on it. In exchange, the rights would belong to Paolo Branco. Right. However, Branco delivered no funding of any kind in the end. Like, literally did not give him a penny towards it. So Gilliam then moved on, found other people to fund it, and made the film. Branco is now claiming that, no, I own it.
But how can he claim to own it when he hasn't contributed anything to it?
Well, exactly. Now, the thing is, because they never dissolved the agreement, even though Branco never actually, moved on it.
This would make a good film in itself.
It kind of would, wouldn't it? Yeah. It really would.
But it'll never get made because...
Terry Gilliam, yeah. I feel like if we ever get to see this movie have a premiere, someone's going to sabotage Terry Gilliam's break lines on the way to the premiere, just to ensure that this has to end as
there's going to be...
possible.
Will be like a wave of flying pigs, but we'll go straight into the cinema. And,
Exactly.
4 Horsemen. Flying pigs on top of 4 Horsemen.
Poor Adam Driver.
Yeah. I mean, the eventual cast that they got is really good.
Well, yeah. Speaking of amazing casts, by the way, there was a movie announced this week. I'm just pulling it up now because I don't remember the exact details. I just remember it being amazing. Right, okay. not Dwayne Johnson, the other actor turned wrestler, Dave Bautista. Right,
I know
the news.
Yeah, I know the news.
Okay,
Yeah.
so what's the film called now?
Stuber.
Okay. So Batista plays a determined detective who commandeers an unsuspecting Uber and its driver named Stu over one night of hijinks and mayhem. So basically, that sounds like Collateral with a good guy instead of an assassin.
Yeah, comedy collateral.
And the Uber driver is Kumail Nanjiani.
Yeah.
And Iko Uwais is in it from The Rain.
He's going to be like a villain, bad guy type.
Right, sign me up. This sounds amazing. It's written by the brilliantly named Tripper Clancy. Oh my god, that's great. That is amazing.
God.
Jonathan Daly and Jonathan Goldstein and John Francis Daly are
Vacation
producing.
and Spider-Man and
Yeah,
Flash
they're producing.
And whatever. Yeah,
I mean,
that is great.
you've got me.
Yeah.
You've absolutely got me. I mean, I've just gotten the title actually. Stuber. I've just got it.
Have you only just got it?
Yeah.
He's an Uber driver called Stu. Genius. Yeah. I'm in just on the title.
Yeah, that's quite clever. Yeah. And it's a Fox movie, so expect an R rating. Expect, decent budget.
Yeah. Have we got a release date for it?
Do you know what? No, I don't think we actually do. But
come on.
Okay.
I want it.
STX apparently have also gotten writers for a presently untitled family action comedy starring Batista as a hardened CIA operative who finds himself at the mercy of a precocious 9-year-old.
Is this a different film?
That's a different film.
What is Batista doing? This is great.
This is great. I mean, I do feel like he's enacting a little bit of sort of The Rock 10 years ago, but...
A little bit, yeah. He's kind of catching up. But,
I'm good with that.
I need Batista, Rock, and John Cena in a film together. I want 3 Men and a Baby remade.
With Batista, Cena, and Dwayne Johnson.
Yeah, and we can get... I'm going to get Kevin Hart as my baby.
Wait. What if, right, the movie is 3 Men and a Baby, right, but all 3 of the men are, like, wrestlers.
Yeah, of course.
So their house is just covered in, like, gym equipment and protein powder and things like that, whey powder and stuff like that.
And they all have to be, like, mums, essentially. Oh, this is...
Oh, my God, let's sell this. Does anyone have $7 email address? Because we need to pitch that.
Yeah, and they make like 7 films a week.
Yeah, so exactly.
Somebody get me Danny Garcia right now.
Right, remake news that made me want to vomit. And I that happens so often, admittedly.
Yeah, I mean we've just talked about the High Fidelity one.
Well, yeah. So they're remaking Jagged Edge, the 1985 Richard Marquand thriller.
Right, so I don't really know Jagged Edge.
That one, okay, it was written by Joe Esterhazy. It starred Halle Berry and it starred Glenn Close and Jeff Bridges.
Of course, Glenn Close was in it.
Yeah, Halle Berry's going to lead the remake.
No.
Yeah, don't know why. Don't know why you'd even bother to try and remake it. It was great as it was. It's still a classic of its sort of now forgotten genre.
Yeah,
they're going to drop the sort of erotic side of it quite clearly.
So it's an erotic thriller. Of course,
it doesn't double down on the eroticism the way that its rival projects did.
The original had Robert Loggia.
What, R as in Robert Loggia, yeah. O as in oh my God, it's Robert Loggia.
Yeah.
B is in Believe It, Robert Loesch.
Glenn Close is a handsome woman.
I would describe her as a handsome woman indeed. Yeah. I have seen her play a man, and she was also a handsome man.
Albert Nobbs.
Yes.
Albert with knobs on.
Yeah, Albert with knobs on, yes. We are bad people. By the way, you remember a long while ago it was revealed that Saudi Arabian cinemas were going to open for the first time in 35 years with the Emoji Movie?
Yeah.
That's changed.
Yeah, they've got a new, better film.
Yes.
Yeah.
And that's going to be Black Panther.
It is, of course it is. And that'll be followed by Infinity War.
Well, the funny thing is as well, they're also going to buck another trend with the release of Black Panther. They are, for the first time in the history of Saudi Arabia, going to allow their cinemas to have intermixed male and female seating. Yes,
that's a massive deal.
Very progressive, but there's been a lot of this in the news recently because Saudi Arabia are undergoing something of a rebranding.
What, as a nation?
Well, this is where it gets funny, because Dwayne Johnson's involved.
It's only right that we end with Dwayne Johnson.
It really is.
Let's tie it together.
I've not got the specifics to hand, right? But about a week ago, Dwayne Johnson posted a picture of a new young figure from the Saudi royal political sphere, and basically revealed that he and several other named players had been at a function with this Saudi royal,
John Cena,
and enjoying listening to him talk about and actually interacting with him about media and perception of his country. And you think, wow, okay. But it was like really big names that were there with Dwayne Johnson.
Yeah. I don't know who else was there.
Well, I mean, I can pull it up, but it'd take too long. But yeah, and you think Dwayne Johnson is literally changing the world, one industry at a time.
So he is running for president, man.
Well, actually, that came up in the Rolling Stone interview, in which he said...
Oh, did it come up again?
He did say he had taken meetings with political consultants. He said, I'm not taking those meetings because I want to run for president. I'm taking them to learn stuff.
Yeah.
I'm taking it because 30 years from now I might want to run for president.
He might, yeah.
And I just want to learn
how old is he now? Is he like 45 or something?
Yeah, I think he's about that, isn't he?
If he had like
45, 48, somewhere in that little...
Say he has another like 10 years being The Rock in films.
Yeah.
Just making films that everyone seems to just really
really
enjoy
love.
him in. Yeah.
Well, isn't Jumanji now Sony's highest grossing ever movie?
It is, yeah.
Because good. Yeah, good.
And then he runs for office somewhere. He runs for Senate. He becomes like a councilman or something.
He absolutely would. You could see Senator Johnson and then President Johnson, couldn't you?
Absolutely.
But
I mean, nothing is outside the realm of possibility now.
No.
Some people have smashed the glass ceiling of being a prick.
I'm trying to think what the catchphrase... In that same Rolling Stone interview, it is revealed that Dwayne Johnson has a catchphrase in which...
He's got a few.
Whenever he takes on a project, his mantra is, dominate and elevate. Which I think is phenomenal. So apparently Brad Payton goes to him with the idea for Rampage. By the way, in the movie Rampage, those two awful villains, Malin Ackerman and Jake Lacey, in the background of their office have a Rampage arcade cabinet. Not even kidding. And it's lit up the entire time. You can see it. It's Rampage and Pac-Man. Anyway, apparently they went to him with the idea of Rampage as a movie, and he's like, okay, let's dominate and elevate. Like, well, what does that mean? Well, first of all, we got to own this concept. We got to absolutely get into this concept. We got to absolutely dominate every aspect of it, and then we're going to elevate it to the next level. You're like, holy crap, that's actually a really good mantra. Like, I got to use that. I mean, you can't use it.
But still, what does it mean? So, like, just the dominate part.
Dominate means absolutely take off, and elevate means make it better than it should be.
Take it on, be committed, and then make the best possible version of it.
Well, I should mention he says this more or less straight after he says about having different working philosophies than Vin Diesel.
Yeah, because Vin Diesel is get in a car.
Yeah. Well, be a candy ass. So,
apparently so. So. If you can be like a giant man who is a candy ass.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. But
God, I'm still waiting for Tooth Fairy versus the Pacifier. That's what I want to see.
You can't have too many Johnsons in one flick, man. But by the way, did you notice 2 weeks ago there was an honest trailer for Jumanji? Welcome to the Jungle.
I did.
They actually finally acknowledged something that I kept forgetting to bring up every time we ever spoke about Jumanji: Welcome to the Jungle.
And we've spoken a lot.
And that is the market vendor is the dude from Too Many Cooks. Yeah. And we all, like, none of us brought it up when the film was out. And every time I saw the movie, I kept thinking, too many cooks.
The guy was like, cake, delicious cake.
Yeah, him, But he never seemed to come up again. And I was like, it's disappointing.
Yeah.
But, so anyway, Too Many Cooks guy is in Jumanji Welcome to the Jungle. Thanks, Honest Trails, for reminding us of that.
Yeah, they've been doing a good job recently.
Yes, they have. Well, they've had amends to make, and presumably new leadership.
Yeah, I saw at the end of the Great Showman trailer,
they're doing a thing with what's the organisation?
It's some kind of like women's lib kind of thing.
Women in film.
Women in film. Really good. Yeah.
Because I believe Kate Muir, who used to be the film critic for the time, she works a lot with women in film in the UK.
That's amazing.
So,
yeah.
But I think that might have been a contractual thing following certain events.
Certain people on this show might have met one time.
Yeah, about that. I don't ever look at that. That photo is still in my phone.
Yeah, it is.
I don't look at it.
Yeah, we're not in any way affiliated with.
No, we're not. No, we're not. We screw up entirely on our own.
We don't need your help.
We don't need anyone else's help to screw up. We can do that on our own. So, on which note?
Speaking of screwing up all on his own,
let's bring it to a close for the week and give it up to literally the Oscar-winning king of screw-ups.
Yeah, from the film. What was it? The Leaving Las Vegas one. He's drunk. With
I'm drunk and you're a prostitute.
Yep. Nick Cage.
I mean, when I was very young, I was always shocked that when I went to a hospital and the doctor checked me out, that I didn't have green blood and 12 ribs or more ribs. I mean, I thought I was from another planet.
Right.
So it's never going to be just like what everyone else does.